Hi everyone. So in this lesson, we'll talk about how to use the different sound libraries that's in Logic Pro and how to really use these sound library options to advantage. So I think one of the maybe more overlooked or underrated sound library that's in the stock library of Logic Pro is actually called Alchemy. So Alchemy exists if you press here and go over here. This is where it's located. You press stereo, so it goes through both speakers, sides of the speakers. And you can see this loaded up sound library of a lot of different options for you to really move beyond what they have here in the original library. So here, what you can do is that not only do you have all these different options in terms of the category of the instrument. So for example, if you want drums, you can just click on drums and then come here and choose whatever you want and just play it like how you normally would. So that was a little bit, sounds a little bit different than what we're normally used to. But you can also change by subcategories. So for example, if you want something that's a bit more electronic, like hip hop, you have a different set of options. Or if you want something to be a bit more cinematic or acoustic, so I'm going to go with acoustic here. Let's see what it sounds like. Right, so these are different options that you don't really just get from the original sound library of Logic here. Something else that's really interesting to me is that, especially for melodic instruments, let's say if you want to go to maybe, let's say, synths, you separate it also by genre, as well as timbre. So also some other, different ways in which you can maybe set your own tags and stuff like that, user tags, for example. But you can choose it based on genre of the synth. So for example, if you want the synth to accommodate your rock beat, maybe this could be something that's fitting. Something like that. In the meantime, you can also change it by timbre, or the tone of the sound. If you want it to sound a bit more dark, this kind of makes it so that it goes through this kind of filter and it finds you. Okay, so for this one, it's only 7 options. But by no means does that mean that there's only 7 options from the whole library that actually fits your needs. It's just how Alchemy chooses the most suitable options for you with these presets. You can also change it, let's say if you want, warm. Okay, I'm not sure how that was warm, but it is an option. You can also change it to this one. Right, these are also options that you can do to mess around with. And for some options like this one, you can also change different types or effects that this instrument has that's loaded in Alchemy. So for example, the chord version of Mega City Fifth, which is the instrument, sounds like this. But maybe if you choose this one, it sounds different, right? Right, so all have different sounds. You can also put it in between. And then these are the options in which you can change different effects of the sound. Same thing here. As well as the delays, cutoffs, reverb, all that. You can also have different effects, like I said before, crossovers, initial plans, cutoffs, etc., acoustic reverbs, or even ARPs. So if you wanted to go through a certain velocity or a repetition of a pattern, feel free to change this, as well as the octave, the length, the swing, etc. So Alchemy is a very underrated resource that I recommend every producer to use on Logic Pro. And that concludes the lesson.